Good morning. And Happy New Year. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Chicago, in person and at home. I'm Cheryl Wegner. I'm a member of the First U Board of Trustees, and I am honored to welcome you in worship this morning, along with Liz Kreslin, our worship leader, Liz Tolbert, our storyteller, and Adam Odell, our music leader. First Unitarian Church has been a home for progressive religion in Chicago and beyond since 1836. The church sits on the western shore of Lake Michigan, south of the Chicago River. We honor the indigenous peoples for whom these are unceded ancestral homelands, as well as the diverse and vibrant indigenous American communities who make their home here today. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community of children, youth, and adults. A people of many beliefs and traditions, bound not by the specific list of things we believe, but the values we share and the mission to grow our souls and heal the world. Whether you just stepped into the church for the first time or for the 1000th time, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. No matter your race or who you love or how much money you do or don't have, you are welcome here. If you're a visitor here this morning, either here in person or on Zoom, we're excited to have you with us. Please let us know that you were here by filling out a visitor's card, making sure to include an email address. It's on this little card right here, and dropping it in the offering plate as it comes around. This will ensure you get our weekly newsletter. For the folks on Zoom, I'll give you a link when I get back. If anyone has a joy or sorrow that you'd like to have read aloud, please fill out another card that you'll find in the seat back of the seat in front of you, and give it to one of the ushers as they collect the offering. If you have a joy or sorrow you'd like the minister or pastoral care committee to know about privately, you can put out cards in the sanctuary box at the back at any time. And please join us after the service in Chris Moore Parlor for refreshments and good conversation. To get there, you can go up the stairs to my right and follow the crowd or ask anyone to guide you. We're all headed that way. There are a couple of announcements this morning. It says here that UU 101 is after the service at 11 o'clock in Hull Chapel, led by Reverend Dave. Reverend Dave isn't here today, but Liz Kreslin will lead the UU 101. The OWL mandatory parent info session scheduled at 1 o'clock has been canceled, and the Global Studies group meeting at 11:30 today in VOV Library has also been canceled. And the reason for that is that you all know that a group of people from our church have been going over after service and witnessing on 53rd Street. We pass out flyers, we talk to people, we hold up our sign about the faithful defiance of authoritarianism. We are told that no one of us will change the world by ourselves, but that a lot of us doing small actions can change the world. And we have decided to do our small action today after church. Instead of some of the activities listed in the order of service, we will be gathering in Chris Moore Parlor or in Aki's Place, where the refreshments are. And from 11:30 to 12, we plan to make signs. And around noon, we plan to march from the church over to our gathering spot on 53rd Street, across the street from Target. And we will hold up our signs and we will do our witnessing like that. Anyone who would like to is welcome to join us. If you're on Zoom, you can join us too. If you want to just come over to 53rd Street around 12:30, we would love to have you. If you'd like to join us and marching is not your thing, we're prepared to offer rides. So please consider joining us. We'll be in VOV or Aki's Place after church. And I think that's all the announcements. It is good to be together today. Will you join me in reading our covenant? Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Well, we're here. It's 2026, and we have all, whatever we experienced, whatever the joys, the trials, or the tribulations, we have all survived another year to this time and place, this moment in history. And for that, we give thanks. And whatever our thoughts and feelings about it, another year is now starting. It's underway, with or without us. We are here in this room or online because we chose with. 2026 is starting with us, together, right here, right now, here together. So, in solidarity, gratitude, and love, let's begin. Come, let us worship.
Please rise in body or spirit for the singing of our opening hymn, number 347 in the gray hymnal, Gather the Spirit. Again, that is 347 in the gray hymnal, Gather the Spirit.
Today, the story is called Hidden Transformation. The world had already turned, said Grandpa. Mira looked around. It looked the same to me. The trees were bare. The ground was muddy. The sky was gray. Nothing seemed new at all. Grandpa led Mira to the garden and pointed at the dirt. What do you see? Nothing, Mira said. Exactly, Grandpa smiled. He explained that under the soil, seeds were busy, not sleeping, but working. Roots were stretching, leaves were practicing, colors were getting ready. Even though Mira couldn't see it, change was already happening. Mira said, sneaky. Over the next few days, Mira started noticing small things. A kid used to be quiet, shared a joke. A teacher laughed. Mira herself felt braver raising her hand and being kinder when someone needed help. Nothing announced these changes, no drums, no fireworks. But the world had turned. At church, Mira heard words like love, fairness, and kindness. She realized those things grow like seeds, too, quietly, one small moment at a time. The garden still looked the same, but Mira knew better. Transformation doesn't always make noise. Sometimes it giggles, sometimes it whispers, and sometimes it's already happening. Thank you. And now we invite the young kids to go to your classes, and everyone greet your neighbor.
Each week we take up an offering to support the ministries of this congregation, and each month we share those plate offerings with a ministry, a organization in the world that is doing work that we believe in, that we support. And today I would like to invite Lauren Szymanski up forward to speak about our plate sharing partner for January, which is Pilsen Community Academy. here she is.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Lauren Szymanski. I am the middle school math teacher at my school, Pilsen Community Academy. We are a small neighborhood school located in the heart of Pilsen. And we're very tiny. We're a pre-K through 8th grade school where everybody wears a lot of hats. And I'll just say I have the privilege of being our union delegate as well as our student voice committee lead. Connecting to the way we need a little help. As you know, ICE has created a lot of problems for a lot of families. And one thing we've been doing actively as our school, like we've put together, the union has kind of a structure to create sanctuary teams. So a sanctuary team is this new structure that we've kind of like built within our own school this year, but it's basically all the different things that families need, whether it's, support walking their children to school, like to and from school, or assistance with groceries, assistance with other things like maybe clothing or things like that. We just need to kind of have like a pool of funds for that. So we really appreciate your support and just trust that it'll be put to good use. We really try to leverage what we have, but we could always use a little bit more. So thank you for keeping us in mind for the month of January.
Thank you, Lauren. Our offering will be gratefully received.
Finding our key for centering in. There we go. Seasons change. The key I normally sing in it as a solo is not super congregation friendly. Please rise and body your spirit for our centering song. I will sing it one line at a time and invite you to sing it back. Seasons change and so will you. Seasons change and so will you. I am always changing too. I am always changing too. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Everything must change so new things can grow. Everything must change so new things can grow. Let's try it all together. We'll do it a few times, so no pressure. Just go ahead and give it a try. Seasons change and so will you. I am always changing too. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Everything must change so new things can grow. Seasons change and so will you. I am always changing too. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Everything must change so new things can grow. Seasons change and so will you. I am always changing too. Sometimes quickly, sometimes slow. Everything must change so new things can grow. Thank you. You may be seated.
We have a practice here of sharing our joys and sorrows as part of sharing life together as a community. This week, I have a joy from Tony P. I'm grateful to have celebrated 2 birthdays in the last 2 weeks. My partner's mother, who is such a kind and warm-hearted human being, and mine. We are grateful for family, for warm-hearted humans, and for surviving another year. It was my great joy to visit with Brad Little yesterday, says Bobby Campbell, who at age 98 remains one of our fiercest and most articulate voices for peace. We are grateful for you, Brad, for you as a member in our community, and for you, Bobby, for your visits and your care. A joy and a sorrow from Jen Adams. I scheduled my 5 radiation treatments for mid-January and meds to prevent return of my breast cancer. Our thoughts are with you, Jen, wishing you strength and healing and continued wellness and improvement. From Linda Turney, concern for my sister Melissa and friend Frank, who had a car accident last night. They're okay, but they hit a pedestrian. Our prayers for Melissa, Frank, and the recovering pedestrian, and our hopes and healing wishes with all of them. And hopes and healing wishes with all of us as we enter this new year, for all these joys, both those shared and those that we hold in our hearts, all the sorrows and concerns that have been spoken aloud, and for those that we each carry, we hold them together whether we speak them or not. We are here together in community with gratitude for that. May it be so. Winter Solstice by James Pearson. It happens in a moment, this tiny, imperceptible turning, when all at once the night ceases its imperial advance, and the next morning promises to dawn just a sigh earlier than the one before. The world still goes on dying around it and trying to keep itself alive. This is not yet the spring. But huddled in their dens, their nests, their thick forest groves, the creatures of the world put all their wordless faith in this quiet shift, dreaming songs of hope that maybe, even now, it's already happened. Winter begins on the solstice, which means the coldest, most barren days come after the earth has made her turn towards the light. Maybe that can be a small encouragement in our own barren days. Maybe we can't even enter a winter until some fundamental turning has happened in us. And like the first weeks of winter, even though it doesn't feel like the light is growing, we can trust that slowly, imperceptibly, it is.
Took my love, took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, till the landslide brought me down. Oh, river in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tide? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. Yeah, I'm getting older too. Oh, take my love, take it down. you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, will the landslide bring you down? And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, will the landslide bring you down? Oh, will the landslide bring you down?
Maybe, even now, it's already happened. This is a season of transformation, bringing light in the darkness, celebrating the turn of a year, completion of a cycle, beginning of a fresh start. This January 4th, that literally already happened. The New Year's fresh start is now 3 days in the past. As anyone who has ever made a resolution knows, the work is ahead. Resisting having that drink, that cigarette, scrolling on that social media is just as hard January 1st, 4th, or 10th as it was on December 30th. Everything that in 2025 made it difficult to get to the gym, to read a book, to write a loved one, to call a senator, all of that is still going to be the case as 2026 begins. The psychological power of a fresh start can be very real, it is to me. But the obstacles remain real too. We can hope that the obstacles will ease over the year, especially if we make progress on the habits we hope to build, the personal transformations we hope to make. As change takes root, the facts on the ground may shift. But at this moment, our renewal is vulnerable in its infancy. Maybe, even now, it's already happened. In our Christian heritage as UUs, and for those of us with Christian inclinations, this is the second Sunday of Christmas, looking toward the arrival of Epiphany or Three Kings Day on January 6th. This is a time for continuing the story of Christmas. We already heard about the angels, the shepherds, the family, the inn, the manger. Many of us know that part pretty well. Even that part that we heard on Christmas is not a story of ease. I don't think people choose to give birth in a barn and rest their newborn in an animal's feeding trough if they have other options available. The Christmas story is about the incarnation of hope and love into an inhospitable world. And as we continue the story into Epiphany, it becomes even clearer how inhospitable that world is. Today, in many churches around the world, the story from the Gospel of Matthew is told of the tyrant, King Herod, hearing from the visiting Magi that a king was born within his country. The tyrant was threatened by this news. He asked the Magi to report to him where in Bethlehem the baby was once they found him, purportedly to pay homage. The wise men saw through the tyrant's lies and refused to provide the information, understanding that Herod meant to harm the baby Jesus. When Herod realized that the Magi were not going to cooperate with him, he made an even crueler plan. He ordered for all the young boys of Bethlehem to be killed. Mary and Joseph escaped with their newborn to Egypt. Why retell such a horror-inducing story? Especially when scholars believe it probably isn't even historical. Doesn't our own reality have enough horrors to contend with? Of course, our present reality has far too many horrors. To me, that's what makes this story worth holding on to. If we're going to hold on to the hope of Christmas, the value, dignity, and awe-inspiring power of a baby born in an oxen stall, the inevitable arrival of new birth at the darkest moments of the year, the promise of peace on earth, those things we love about Christmas. If we're holding on to those, then let's hold on to its context as well. We might misunderstand the thrust of the story and underestimate its power otherwise. The hope, love, and joy that arrive in the Christmas story come into a world that is truly messed up in the most gravely serious sense of the phrase. Brutal, cruel, profoundly broken and inhumane. Christmas brings the audacity to say, to affirm every year that the power to completely transform a dark, dark world could rest within something as tiny as one newborn infant. One little vulnerable person. Let's not underestimate the wonder of that transformational power by minimizing the forces arrayed against it. And yet, as bold, strong, and powerful as reborn hope and love are, the story of the wise men and the tyrant Herod speaks of a transformation that was not immediate. At risk of stating the obvious, the birth of Jesus did not immediately put an end to cruelty and suffering. In fact, Matthew tells us, one of the most immediate subsequent events was an increase in brutality. The world became more broken, genocidal even. Maybe, even now, it's already happened. As James Pearson points out in the poem we heard, the shortest day, the winter solstice, is the first day of the season, when the tilting earth has already shifted towards the light. That's when we know that the coldest days are ahead of us. That's where we are in the story. The literal days are already getting longer. The hope, love, and joy of Christmas has already entered the world for the year and been affirmed. The calendar has already turned to mark a fresh start and a new revolution of the earth. And yet, like an observer of the story in Matthew chapter 2, we might ask, what has changed? We might say, this cruel, broken world looks much the same to me. Sometimes at the turn of a year, we think about what we are leaving behind. Let's not overlook, what are we carrying forward? This is a question for reflection. I invite you to the space, and I wish you the clarity to discern your own answers. What are you carrying forward? And also, here's one true thing. The world is making sure that we are collectively carrying forward fresh wounds, cruelty, and crises that are still underway. Just this week, I found myself donating to the crowdfunding page of a Hyde Park neighbor detained in the Broadview ICE facility, who was not only unjustly and unlawfully arrested, detained, separated from his wife and children, but for days was denied access to a seizure medication that he needed to survive. The last update I heard, he was still detained in Broadview, so has been facing mistreatment and grotesquely inhumane conditions for almost a week now, having never committed a crime, nor even failed to comply with a government order. And of course, we know that this is just one case, like many others from that facility and from around the country. What fresh start can a new calendar year bring to a family in the midst of such an experience? To us as witnesses? As Pearson writes of the winter, the world still goes on dying, right now, every day. The suffering and starvation in Gaza and Sudan continue. Not only did the coming of Christmas, the turning of the earth, and the year not bring peace to the earth, it now looks like we may be adding a new entry to a growing list of ongoing wars whose significant reason seems to be the individual benefit of corrupt leaders. There's no question, like the world that Jesus was born into, like the world that many have been born into in the centuries since, our world is living through dark times. The story of Herod may not be historical in the 1st century AD, but it sure does echo anyway. So, maybe, even now, it's already happened. We don't have a choice about the times we are living through and the cruelty of some of our contemporaries. Those things are already currently carrying forward whether we like it or not. So, what are the seeds of transformation already planted, already, that we are also carrying forward? What new worlds are already here, ready to grow if we tend to them? If you knew that hope and love, with the awesome power to transform the world, were already born, already surviving, as vulnerable as a baby, maybe within a baby or any person, who and how would you be? What would you do? What if the key to transforming your world, my world, was already inside us? Our Soul Matters theme for this month is practicing resistance. We know how much is out there to resist. I've just been talking quite a bit about it. How shall we do that? How shall we resist when the scale of the cruelty and the suffering seem to dwarf what little any one of us can do about it? I'd say that our power to resist, even through the hardest times, will come from finding and valuing what is good. Like the wise men, we must seek out the promised renewal. And like the wise men, we must keep vigilant to protect it from the forces that mean it harm. This year, let's seek out the good within our own lives. Let's start small. Let's let go of guilt, shame, and comparison. When we experience something good, the beauty of a sunrise, like I was just telling Evelyn about that I witnessed flying to Vermont on Christmas morning, the companionship of good friends, a delicious homemade dish, a hilarious joke. When we experience something good, let's notice it. Let's nurture it. How bold, how audacious to suggest that that might still matter. In fact, that might matter the most. We might just find that when we have magnified the good within our own lives, it becomes easier to share it with others. We might just find that working for the good of the world begins to come easily, naturally, comfortably, even joyfully. We might find that even though we know it won't solve the whole problem, we can't help but share a meal, make a donation, reach out to connect with a neighbor, go to a protest, speak our mind to an official, volunteer at a little free store, go out to faithfully and joyfully witness, as some of us plan to do after church today. So, let's ground our resistance firmly in what we love. Let's seek out the vulnerable seeds of transformation within ourselves and each other. Let's vigilantly protect and lovingly nurture them until they grow and bloom, like the first crocus of spring breaking through the ice, like a dandelion that demands its space from the concrete. Let's grow our love until we can't help but let it overflow and begin to spread further out into the world. There's still a long path ahead. The seed is still underground. The baby is still in the manger. Hope and love are not yet, blazing forth like a summer sun. They need our protection and care. It is hard, maybe, to see this world, January 4th, 2026, as transformed. But maybe, even now, it's already happened. May it be so.
Please rise and body your spirit for the singing of our sending hymn, number 168 in the gray hymnal, One More Step. Again, that is 168 in the gray hymnal, One More Step.
One
custom here to take hands with a neighbor as I give a benediction. If you are comfortable, wish to do that. I'll send you with the words of Fra Giovanni from his letter to a friend. I salute you. There is nothing I can give you which you have not, but there is much that while I cannot give, you can take. No heaven can come to us unless our hearts find rest in it today. Take heaven. No peace lies in the future that is not hidden in this present instant. Take peace. The gloom of the world is but a shadow. Behind it, yet within our reach, is joy. Take joy. And so at this season, I greet you with a prayer that for you, now and forever, the day breaks and the shadows flee away. Go in peace.